Now that the holes are punched, let's get ready to bind. The first step is to prepare your O-wire. For these projects, we need to count off the proper number of loops for our 4-inch book as well as our 8-inch book. In this case, 6 loops. You'll just count the number of loops that correspond with the number of holes that you've punched. In this case, 6 for the mini book and 14 for this book. As you know, the O-wire comes in a variety of diameters depending on what size book you're working on. And in order to make sure that your closing channel works properly for all the sizes, you need to make sure that it's adjusted properly. This is where the handy O-wire templates will come in very, very handy. Now you can use the O-wires for 2 different forms of measurement. One is a visual guide. You can place the O-wire on the front so you know what size you have, but the most important method is to use it as a measuring tool in adjusting the closing plate here. Place it in the closing channel and adjust the knob this way to move it forward and back. That will ensure you get perfectly sized closing for your wires. For the longer project, you're going to follow the same steps as you did for the 4-inch. Now we're going to bind our 8-inch book. As we did with our 4-inch book, we're going to order the pages in the order that we want, with the front cover followed by the inner pages and then the back cover. Flip the back cover around to the front so they're facing, and insert your wires into the holes from the inner pages. As we did with the punching, we're going to need to bind in sections. In order to ensure that you have perfectly round holes, you're going to want to make sure that you put your wires flat down with the small loops of the wire facing the bind it all. Gently but firmly squeeze the handle down. The closing channel will stop on its own. To give you perfect circles. Now we have our book, front cover, inner pages, and the seam in the back of the book. As with punching, you'll want to bind your project before you add any heavy or thick embellishments. That will prevent them from being damaged. Congratulations, you've done it. You can now punch and bind like a pro.